And, you know, it's interesting because I don't remember any of my biological family. I don't remember one thing about them, who they were. I don't have one image of them in my mind, not one person. But I do remember the foster years. I do remember those hard times. And I've always believed that that was done on purpose from God. I believe that He made it so that we could not remember them, so that we could give that up and accept our new life. And that has been a beautiful thing for us. We've been very lucky just to have our family and have that second chance. And for the things that were not so easy and very difficult in the foster homes, those things remain like branded on my mind, and it's so that I can stay strong in my life.
But I think also what's important is that, for one, I think kids adapt really easy. So if they've been through something difficult and you take them into a loving home where they're going to get treated the way that they deserve to be treated and they should be treated, they're going to adapt very easily to that. I'm not saying that you can just, you know, shove everything under the rug, but I'm just saying that they'll be able to adapt. And plus, if people who want to adopt really, truly love the kids, even, you know, people who are not adopted, they go through difficult times, and their parents, you know, have to help them through that and have to love them, you know, in spite or because of the difficult times. So someone who's going to adopt, I mean, it's just another part of being a kid. I mean, granted, it's probably obviously a lot more difficult than what a lot of us have been through, but every kid goes through hard times, and so you just kind of have to take it in stride and say, okay, this is just another little molehill we have to work through.
Absolutely.
And I think if you have that perspective, you know, as someone who's going to adopt, then it's meant to be, and if not, then maybe you should really kind of relook at things.
I'm a firm believer in my own belief, my own way, that everything is meant to be. That this family was meant to be. My mother could not have her own children, so in my way of thinking, there was a surrogate mother somewhere at that time who had us and gave us up when my mom was ready for us, and she found us. I mean, that's how I think of it, and I believe everything was meant to be. You know, she couldn't have her own.
That's a great way to think of it.
So we were out there. It just had to be a few years, and Neil was 4 and I was 5 when we came into the home for the first time and to our new family. So
I think it's interesting that you can't remember anything about your biological parents, and like you said, I think that that was meant to be for whatever reason.
It was.
And
it made it easier for us to, you know, not have those memories, and I would rather it that way because, as you said, children do adapt well, and we came into such love. But I would just rather that be its own thing. And when I'm ready, if I'm ever ready to hear those stories or know some truths that I haven't known, then that day will come when I'm ready for it. But
back to the panel that you said that you speak on once a month, who is it you're speaking to? People who want to adopt kids, and what exactly are you saying to them?
Basically, it's soon-to-be adopted parents, or at times it's child psychologists and social workers.
Oh, okay.
So it helps everybody hear the story, and there's really 2 reasons that I do this. For the adopted parents, obviously, it's to tell them my story and say, hey, you know what, this is where I've been, and it's interesting for them to see an adult adoptee perspective and hear how it was for them to be adopted. What can I do as a parent to make it easier for my child? And my main advice has always been just be open and be okay with the adoption. Let them know that it's okay and it's beautiful. And it was never something that was shoved under the rug in our family. We acknowledged that that's what it was, but it wasn't something, you know, I've got my mom, I've got my dad, I've got my brothers. There's no adopted mom, adopted dad.
Yeah, and it's not something you talk about every day either,
It doesn't exist, and it's not something we talk about every day. But it's not something that we've ever let be a shame in the family. For the social workers and child psychologists, my main focus is to tell them basically about my foster experience and where I've been in those homes, and that those kinds of homes are out there, that unfortunately there are foster families who do foster for the wrong reasons.
Right.
There are some who are doing it all out of love, and that's wonderful. But unfortunately, in my
Right.
years, I did not have those types of homes. But like I said, everything happens for a reason, and it's just a strength for me in my life. So.
Well, I think it's really important that we're talking about this because I feel that we need to bring this subject out in the open. Like I said in the opening, we all hear about kids around the world, or, you know, in the United States, wherever, that need to be adopted, but for some reason, people don't want to talk about it. I don't know if people who are not adopted think that the people who are adopted feel ashamed or feel negative about it, or if it's just a stigma that people have implanted into everybody saying, oh no, let's just brush this under the rug. But the thing is it's out there and it does exist, and it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, and it makes you feel, I'm sure, which I don't know personally, but that much more special that somebody chose you to be a part of their family, you know, and that there are so many kids out there who need to be adopted just like everybody else. They want to be wanted, they want to be loved.
Yes.
And this isn't something taboo that we shouldn't talk about.
Not
And
at all.
don't feel ashamed to talk about it and say, hey, this is a part of me, you know? Just like I would talk about my childhood, why can't you talk about your childhood?
Right.
So with that in mind, what is the message that you would like to send to everybody out there who's watching?
My main message is that we're all going to go through things that are going to be hard in our lives. My hardships have been my pre-adoption years, and that is what has strengthened me. I hope that anybody who is out there that has been adopted and is holding this in, or holding some ugly negative memories in their heart, to let it go, to find somebody to tell to, and hold it as a badge of courage. I've been through this. Life
Right.
threw this at me, and I survived it, you know? That's what it's all about. And I speak very openly about my adoption, not only to the people in my life, but to perfect strangers. And this is a
Right.
great opportunity to reach out to even more people and let them know that, yes, I'm adopted. I came from love. I was given to more love. I'm very lucky in my life to have had these opportunities. And whether you had negative or positive experiences, just be open about it and be accepting of it and be strong because of it, and just
Right.
that's
Well, thank you,
basically what it
Janie,
is.
for
Thank you
joining
so
me today.
much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. If you would like more information about Janie or about adoption or the panel that she does talk to, you can email me in the email that will follow in the credits. And keep in mind, everybody out there who's watching, that things that happen in your life are not taboo. You can talk about them. It's okay to talk about them because it makes you exactly who you are, and we love you for that. We'll see you next time on Jessica.